nooks and crannies of this nation. OSBC brings you the news. News across the country.
Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. Osun Governor tasked stakeholders to complement government efforts on child's education. INEC warns parties against parallel primaries. Court clears Jonathan to contest presidential election. IPOB denies killings of pregnant women and children. Governor of the state of Osun, Mr. Adeboyega Otola, has called on stakeholders involved in child education to play their roles effectively and complement government efforts in all ramifications. He said this today at the Yaran 22 Children's Day celebration held at Pakule High School, Kwara area of the state capital. Oladi Adeboyega now reports.
Governor Otola, who was represented by the Osun State Head of Service, Dr. Olowoboyega Oyebade, urged stakeholders to put all hands on deck in making conscious efforts at raising awareness for parents, families, communities at all levels on the critical role of protecting the children against all forms of violence, abuse, exploitation, and abduction. The governor stressed that the state government is committed to promoting and protecting the rights of every citizen, including children's responsibility as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Child Rights Act 2007. He promised children in the state that the government will continue to sustain strongly its commitment to all ongoing obligations to ensure their general well-being and development. Students in their well-ironed uniform, canvas, and stand-up to match observe their march past in the presence of the gathering. At the end of the children activities at the Osun Children's Day celebration, School for Special Needs Primary School, Oshogbo, winner of the first position, while School for Special Needs Secondary School, Oshogbo, won the second position. In the primary school category, Annie International School, Oshogbo picked the first position, while Baptist Practicing School, Talafia, Eden North, emerges second, and the Apostolic Primary School, Ijebujesha Oriade, emerges third position. In the secondary school category, Destiny International School College, Oshogbo, emerges fourth position. Leader King College, Iliogbo Ayedire, emerges second position, while Iwo Grammar School, Iwo, emerges third position. The Children's Day program held at Fakule High School, Powerline, Oshogbo, was spiced up with different activities from children. The theme for this year's celebration is investing in our future means investing in our children, and with influence a better future for every child. Olaide Adegbero reporting.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has warned that those conducting parallel primaries to pick candidates for next year's general election risk sanctions. Besides, such elections are in futility. INEC made the clarifications in a letter to parties by the Secretary to the Commission, Mrs. Rose Oriano Anthony. The Commission vowed to admit the results and candidates of primaries monitored by its men. With the latest development, the Commission may recognize candidates for Senate, House of Representatives, State Assembly in Edo State from the group led by the National Vice Chairman, South of the People's Democratic Party, Dan Obia. The Congress that produced delegates from the Obaseki faction was not monitored by INEC. It was gathered that the same circular may determine the fate of other candidates from primaries that were not supervised by the electoral umpire. Meanwhile, the Electoral Committee of the All Progressives Congress in Taraba has suspended indefinitely all the primary elections following disagreement among aspirants on the mode to adopt and the subsequent alleged shooting of one of the committee members. Briefing newsman at the Taraba Police Headquarters, Jalingo, chairman of the Electoral Committee, Mr. Lawrence Onuchukwu, said, apart from shooting one of its members, the committee had confronted several other challenges which must be sorted out before the election will be conducted. The chairman said he did not approve any election to be conducted anywhere in the state, stressing that those allegedly done remain null and void. In the meantime, All Progressives Congress APC primary election into the House of Representatives in Osogbo, Olorunda, Irepodu and Orolu Federal Constituency was held under a peaceful atmosphere today. Staff reporter Adeni Ikende, who covered the APC election, reports that the election commenced very late in the evening time. Here are details by Adeni Ikende.
In all the wards visited by OSBC News crew in Osogbo, Olorunda, Irepodu and Orolu Federal Constituency, the primary election was held under peaceful atmosphere. Though the primaries held through direct process commenced very late into the evening in all the wards visited by OSBC News crew and was rancor-free exercise. A visit by the OSBC News crew to Ileata Owope at St. James Primary School B, Owope, Osogbo, revealed that electorates trooped out into the venue of the APC primary election by 3:30 with enthusiasm and waited patiently to exercise their franchise. In an interview with OSBC News, a ward leader, Honorable Idowu Animashaun, representing Ward 7 Olorunda local government area of the state, maintained that the election came up very late due to some stakeholders' meetings in the early hours of the day to resolve some internal wranglings.
We are conducting the primary from the two contestants. In the next 30 minutes, we will finish up.
Speaking in the same vein, the Secretary of the Elders Forum, Olorunda local government of the All Progressive Congress APC, Honorable Johnson Abisoye Kolidowo, said the delay in the commencement of the primary election was due basically to the avoidance of marginalization as being claimed by some party loyalists. Honorable Kolidowo maintained that if it comes to party issues,
we are asking them to write the names of those who appear so that it won't be a matter of somebody has been marginalized.
If it comes to party issue, time frame is irrelevant in the scheme of things. The situation at All Saints Government Primary School A Owope, Orita CMS Osogbo, is not different, as electorate was still waiting as at 4 p.m. to perform their civic responsibility before OSBC News crew left the scene. This is Adeni Ikende reporting for OSBC News.
In the meantime, Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Uweye, has appealed to electorate and members of the All Progressives Congress to work round the clock for the re-election of Governor Adeboyega Otola. Honorable Uweye stated this while reacting to the process and conduct of House of Representatives primaries election. The Speaker said the victory of Governor Adeboyega Otola during the July 16 governorship election is synonymous to the continued development of the state, hence it is of immense paramount for voters to vote massively and convincingly for Governor Adeboyega Otola. Said the vote for Governor Otola is a vote of consolidation. Therefore, the good people of Osun should endeavor to justify the acts of greatness and development the state is yearning for. The Speaker, however, expressed satisfaction over the level of turnouts by the members during the primary election for the House of Representatives. While speaking at Ward 3, an APC leader, Barrister Onibugi, and a member of the party, Oluwatobi Famurewa, lauded the mature and peaceful conduct of the exercise. A reporter, Oluwatosin Oladokun, said same were the reactions of the cross-section of voters who spoke with OSBC News at Ward 10, 4, 5, and 7 in Ilesha East and West local government areas. As at the time of filing in this report, counting and sorting out of election have concluded, while the voters are waiting for the announcement of the result. Similarly, direct primary has been adjudged as the best in any of the political party as it gives room for all-inclusive participation by all party members. Our reporter, Sunday Adenino Asmo, on the story as presented from our studios.
Members of the ruling All Progressives Congress in Iwo Federal Constituency today trooped out en masse to elect their representative for Iwo Federal Constituency. Accreditation and voting began simultaneously in all the wards visited. From Gidiwo 1, Ward 11, Baptist Day School, Iwo, Okada Ward 1 at Town Hall, Iwo, Okada Ward 8 down to Malete 2, Ward 06 at St. Mary Ground School, Iwo. Party members queue behind the candidates of their choice in large numbers, while speaking party chieftains, ward chairmen, and some members of the political party said the conduct of the primary was peaceful and orderly as party members conducted themselves in an orderly manner. In his opinion, Alhaji Ganiu Akinropo said the use of direct primary to choose flag bearer of any political party is the best as it gives everybody a sense of belonging and also gives room for all-inclusive participation.
It will allow the aspirants to know who is faithful to him or her, or for the party to know how the aspirants can pull the crowd during the election.
His opinion is not different from the trio of Sonia Deola Shiwere, a youth leader at Okeadan Ward 1, Honorable Asisa Kazim Aide, and Ganiu Akinropo, as they see direct primary as a way of making every party member have a sense of belonging, where no one will be isolated, and to know the candidate who has the capacity to pull crowd.
I see the direct primary as a direct participation of all registered members. So the candidate, whoever that we know, at the end of the vote, we can recognize that being elected by is the best, so that the sense of belonging, all the card carry members.
Meanwhile, members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Burikpe Ifelodun-Odoti Federal Constituency came out in their numbers to vote at the primary election organized by the party to elect contestants that will fly the flag of the APC for the House of Representatives position at the 2023 general elections. And reporter Oluchi Amuda completes the story.
The ruling All Progressives Congress APC has continued its nationwide primary elections to choose contestants that will represent the party in various elective positions at the 2023 general elections. The leadership of the party in Osun State adopted the direct primary mode of election. OSBC News monitored the House of Representatives primary election in Burikpe Ifelodun-Odoti Federal Constituency, where party faithful gathered in their numbers to exercise their franchise in some polling units in Burikpe local government areas including Ire, Ada, Agba, Ororuo, and Ward 1 Oloti in Aragbiji that serves as a collation center. Similarly, the news crew also visited some wells in the Ifelodun local government, which comprises Ekirun, Obagun, Ekoribe, Iba, where the exercise was carried out under a peaceful atmosphere. In Odoti, the story was the same as APC members in Inisha, Ijabe, Onyon, Faji, Ekosi, Okwa, Ekusa, Asaba, among others, cast their votes for their preferred candidate who will represent the federal constituency in the House of Representatives. Earlier in her interview with OSBC News, the Commissioner for Information and Civic Orientation, Mrs. Funke Egbemode, had maintained that the All Progressives Congress remains the only formidable party in Nigeria where the aspirations of members can be realized. According to her, the direct primary mode of election adopted by the party is an indication that APC's internal democracy is being strengthened, so the people have opportunity to actively participate in choosing those who will represent them at the various elective positions.
It's direct primaries. That means everybody gets to express themselves. Everybody gets to vote for the candidates, the aspirant of their choice, and make the aspirant the candidate. It's very important that people are able to express themselves. And this is part of the growth of democracy. We cannot continue to do things the way we used to do them and expect to get a different kind of result.
The APC primary elections are expected to climax with the presidential primary at the end of this month, where party delegates will gather in Abuja to choose the presidential flag bearer of the party. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Moreover, Adeyemi Abodenu, who was in 11 federal constituencies, reports that the poll was rancor-free. His report.
When our news crew got to Ejibo Ward 1, Okejibo in Ilaragun by noon, Members of the All Progressive Congress in the electoral ward had lined up peacefully to exercise their civic duty. They queued behind the candidates of their choice while the electoral officer counted. Same goes for Ikperi Ward 6 and St. Matthew Primary School Ward 5, Isedo 2, where the exercise was held under a peaceful atmosphere, characterized by large turnout of members of the All Progressive Congress for the exercise. At AUD Primary School, Okiola Ward 8, Ilaonagun, security personnel from the police and civil defense corps were on ground to ensure law and order prevailed. A member of the State House of Assembly representing Ila State constituency, Latif Jayola, commended the direct primaries used to pick candidates of the party, as according to him, it afforded every member of the APC to have a say in the choice of their candidate.
We are talking democracy. The party has done
The situation was similar in Boluwaduro local government, as members of the APC reported at their various polling wards massively to queue behind the candidate of their choice. In Igbajo, OSBC news crew called at Baptist Primary School, Oke-Ogo, Ward 4, Community Primary School, Okeoja, Ward 6, and C&S Church, Esile, Ward 5. The conduct of members of the APC in the places visited were commendable, as the process was itch-free. Mr. Ayodele Fanawopo, who spoke with OSBC News, applauded attitude of members of the party on the exercise. For OSBC News, Adeyemi Aboderin reporting.
This is the news across the country, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Ilawiye Okebale Osubu, Voice of the West. Now, our mid-miss message is the best policy. Train your child to be honest. As in the state of Osun have been admonished to sustain the tempo of mutual relationship with the state government, as well as ensuring sustenance of good governance being demonstrated by Governor Adeboye Otola. The State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Adebayo Adeleke, gave the charge in Iloko Jesha at a 2-day seminar organized by the state chapter of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Sanya Honorinde. That's more on the story.
Speaking at the seminar held at Iloko Ijesha, the State Commissioner for Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Adebayo Yekin, described the topic local government workers, politicians, and the dividends of democracy as apt and relevant in the relationship between the actors that resonates with the level of developments in the state. Prince Adebayo noted that Governor Adeboye Otola is acutely aware of the significant role played by government workers in nation building, and has reciprocated by focusing on overall welfare of workers across the state, adding that it is imperative to ensure that the re-election of Governor Adeboye Otola, who has done so much for workers in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
If they can organize this kind of seminar, they have done a series of this in the past. They have endorsed Mr. Governor. So what message are we talking about? That they should keep the tempo going, and they should make sure that the man they call their own comrade, the man they believe is part of them, the more that they all say is doing well in the sector, it should be returned for a second time.
President of Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, Comrade Kehinde Ogungbangbe, noted that the seminar has been carefully designed towards encouraging social interaction among local government workers, develop better understanding and synergy between the local government workers and politicians. Dr. Ogungbangbe therefore enjoined the participants to make judicious use of the opportunity, as well as ensuring the sustenance of good governance, as demonstrated by Governor Adeboye Otola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
I only tell them not to allow anybody to mislead them. These are local government workers, and the present government, this present Governor Otola, has done tremendously well for us in the local government. Mr. Governor has done well for us. So there is no reason for any local government worker to now say, I want to go and vote for another person. If we want the good work to continue, this present government must have another 4 years.
the guest lecturer, Senator Ajibola Bashir, who spoke eloquently on the Oyetola's year, harped on the need for synergy between the state governments and the public service workers for a robust and functioning public sector, has been demonstrated by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola.
Look at this very important workshop organized by Norgay, and I speak to the fact that there are areas by which Governor Oyetola stands tall above every other candidate. Speaks to that the fact that we need to continue development of our people through electing Governor Oyetola and our party, the APC, and the July 16 governorship election.
Dignitaries at the two-day seminar, including Honorable Taofeek Abolubode, Mr. Muftau Akao, Comrade Kehinde Ayantunji, as well as the state chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Jacob Adekomi, as well as Comrade Kehinde Onitiju. Saya Onorinde reporting for OSBC News.
A federal high court sitting in Yenagoa has declared that former President Goodluck Jonathan is eligible to contest the 2023 presidential election. The presiding judge, Justice Issa Amandasen, made the declaration in a judgment in the case today. The Supreme Court has upheld the December 2017 judgment of the Court of Appeal, Lagos, which quashed the corruption charge against Justice Alizira Nwajiwa of the Federal High Court on the grounds that he was serving a judge. The Court of Appeal had in its judgment held that under Section 158 of the Constitution, is only the National Judicial Council that has the power to deal with allegations of misconduct against a serving judge. The indigenous people of Biafra has denied any involvement in the killing of a pregnant woman and her 4 children in Anambra State. The group said it is strongly condemned the abominable act, saying that an Igbo land, it is an abomination to kill a pregnant woman. The pregnant woman from Adamawa State, Arira Jubril, with her 4 kids, was killed when unknown gunmen opened fire on the Usulo community in Urumba North local government area last Sunday. Activities lined up for the funeral ceremony of Mrs. Mary Alarapetawo Ni Aditoye began today as cars left mortuary for Ora Ibumina, released by the town family of Kishiyakun's compound of Ora Ibumina in Ifedayo local government, indicates that the wake holds shortly after at our residence, Papa area opposite St. Stephen Primary School, Ora Ibumina. The statement adds that funeral service comes up tomorrow morning at St. Stephen Anglican Church, Ora Ibumina, released by Tokumbo Taylor on behalf of the children and grandchildren, states that the reception holds at St. Stephen Primary School playground, Papa Ora Ibumina. In our 2 sports, 20 players have reported to the Super Eagles camp ahead of tomorrow friendly against Mexico. Adeyemi Abedere has the report.
The newly appointed coach of the Super Eagles, Jose Peseiro, has held his first official meeting with the rest of the technical crew after landing in the USA as the Super Eagles fine-tune preparations for the games against Mexico and Ecuador. Among the assistants is 41-year-old Asasio Santos, who will work with him as first assistant coach, although the Nigerian Football Federation had announced ex-international Finidi George as the first assistant of the Portuguese coach. Santos, however, comes highly recommended from Roma coach Jose Mourinho. He is one of the referees in the CV of the new coach of the Super Eagles. Meanwhile, Peseiro's son, Victor Hugo, will work as the match analyst. The 38-year-old worked with his father as the first assistant at his last job, which was at Venezuela. In the meantime, Super Eagles goal stopper Francis Ozor may be called upon for the next Super Eagles outing. Ozor wasn't originally in the list of players invited, with the trio of Maduka Okoye, Adewale Adeyinka and Olorunleke Ojo picked as 3 goalkeepers for the games against Mexico and Ecuador. Okoye later pulled out of the squad, citing shoulder injury, and Israeli-based goalie Adebayo Adeleye was handed a call-up as his replacement, but he is currently battling to secure a visa to the United States of America. Super Eagles defender and goalkeeper Chidozie Awazie and Francis Ozo are the latest players to hit the camp of Nigeria's senior national team in the USA ahead of tomorrow's friendly against Mexico. With the arrival, the number of players in camp has risen to 20. Sport Update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abodere.
And to end the news across the country, here again are the major points. Osun State Governor Mr. Adeboye has called on stakeholders involved in child education to play their roles effectively and complement government efforts in all ramifications. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has warned that those conducting parallel primaries to pick candidates for next year's general election risk sanctions. Federal High Court sitting in Yenagoa has declared that former President Goodluck Jonathan is eligible to contest the 2023 presidential election. The indigenous people of Biafra has denied any involvement in the killing of a pregnant woman and her 4 children in Anambra State. That was the news across the country, edited by Olushola Egbodofo. For more evaluations, can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
It's entertaining. It's educating. Really